Imagine living with your best friend for 3 years, trusting him like family, only to find out he's secretly dating your girlfriend behind your back. And the worst part? This guy discovered everything completely by accident. Today's Reddit story honestly feels like a Netflix drama. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Storytime with Bernard, the place for the craziest Reddit stories, relationship drama, betrayals, and internet disasters. And listen, today's story actually made me mad, like this might genuinely be one of the most disrespectful roommate stories I've read in a while. So grab your snacks, sit back, and let's get into this disaster. So the guy posting this says he's 24 years old. He had been dating his girlfriend for almost 2 years, and he'd been living with his roommate, who we'll call Jake, for about 3. Now, according to him, Jake wasn't just some random roommate. This was his best friend, like the type of friend you trust with everything. They went to high school together, played games together every night, went on trips together, worked out together. Basically brothers. And apparently his girlfriend got along really well with Jake too. Now, normally that would be a good thing, right? Like ideally your partner and your friends should get along. But sometimes people get a little too comfortable. So the original poster says he started noticing little weird things over time. Nothing huge, just small stuff. Like sometimes his girlfriend would laugh a little too hard at Jake's jokes, or Jake would randomly defend her during arguments. And sometimes he'd come home and they'd already be hanging out together. But because he trusted both of them completely, he ignored every red flag, which honestly makes this story even sadder. Reaction. And that's the scary thing about betrayal sometimes. When you trust people completely, you don't even see the signs. So one Friday, the original poster gets sent home early from work because business was slow, and he gets excited because his girlfriend had told him she was staying home sick that day. So he thinks, perfect, I'll surprise her with food. Honestly, a wholesome idea. So he grabs takeout from her favorite restaurant and drives to her apartment. But when he gets there, her car is gone. And immediately he gets confused because she specifically told him she was too sick to leave the house. Now at this point, he says he still wasn't suspicious. He figured maybe she went to get medicine or a coffee or something. So instead of waiting around, he just goes back home. And this is where everything changes. He walks into the apartment quietly and immediately hears laughing coming from Jake's room. Now remember, Jake had supposedly gone out with friends earlier, so now he's confused again. But then he hears a second voice, and it's his girlfriend. Bro, at that point my stomach would drop. So he says he slowly walked toward the bedroom door, and the more he listened, the more uncomfortable he got. Apparently they were talking quietly and laughing, like really comfortable with each other. And in his head he's trying to convince himself there's some innocent explanation. Maybe they're planning something, maybe she stopped by randomly, maybe he's overthinking. But deep down, he already knew. So finally he opens the door, and according to him, both of them instantly froze. His girlfriend was sitting on Jake's bed. Jake looked absolutely terrified, and the room went completely silent. And honestly, silence tells you everything sometimes. Because if nothing shady was happening, why are both of you looking like you just got caught committing crimes? So immediately his girlfriend starts crying, Jake starts panicking, and then Jake says the most stereotypical line possible, "Bro, it's not what it looks like." Which is insane, because what else could it possibly look like? Like nobody says that in innocent situations. So the original poster asks one question, how long? And apparently neither of them answered at first, which already tells you everything. Then finally, the girlfriend admits they'd been secretly seeing each other for 4 months. 4 months? That's not a mistake anymore. That's a whole secret relationship. And apparently it started slowly. At first they just text each other occasionally. Then they started hanging out when the original poster was at work. Then eventually, it became physical. And this whole time, the original poster had no idea. He says there were nights all three of them would literally eat dinner together. Meanwhile, these two were secretly hooking up behind his back. That's actually evil. And honestly, the saddest part is how much trust was involved. Because betrayal from strangers hurts, but betrayal from people you love, that changes you. So naturally, the original poster completely loses it. He starts yelling, the girlfriend is crying, Jake keeps trying to apologize, and apparently Jake says, "We didn't mean for this to happen," which is such a ridiculous thing to say, because cheating for 4 months requires so many decisions. You don't accidentally do that for an entire season of the year. That's like crashing a car and saying, "Yep, oops, didn't mean to drive for 40 miles." So eventually, the original poster tells both of them to get out of his face. He goes into his room, packs a bag, and leaves that same night. And honestly, probably the smartest decision possible, because staying there would have made things so much worse. So for the next few days, he stays with his brother, and during that time, his phone is exploding. The girlfriend keeps texting him, Jake keeps apologizing, and apparently both of them were trying to explain themselves. Which honestly is always funny to me, because people never think about consequences before they cheat, only after they get caught. And then somehow, it gets even crazier, because a mutual friend reaches out to him and says, "Dude, people already knew." Imagine hearing that. Bro! That means other people were watching this happen the entire time. So apparently some of their friends had suspected Jake and the girlfriend were acting weird together for weeks, but nobody said anything because they didn't want drama, which honestly just makes everything worse. Because personally, if my friend's getting betrayed like that, I'm saying something. So eventually the original poster blocks both of them completely, moves out, cuts contact, starts over, but a few weeks later, Jake sends one final message. And the message says, "Oh, we never wanted to hurt you," which genuinely might be one of the dumbest texts ever sent. Because what was the plan then? Like, seriously, how exactly did they think this situation would end? And honestly, stories like this are the reason trust issues exist. Because imagine getting betrayed by your partner and your best friend at the same time. That would mess with anybody. But I want to know what you guys think. Would you ever forgive someone after this? Or are they getting cut off forever? Comment down below because I know this comment section is going to be wild. And if you enjoyed today's story, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more Reddit drama and storytelling videos. I'll see you guys in the next one.